Okay, take two. Hi, Lindsay here. So, you have not heard from me for a while, and that's because, well, I'm a bum. My channel has been collecting dust. But I'm back now. Well, kind of, temporarily. Because I really want to talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day. If you haven't seen it, then you probably live under a rock, because why have you not seen it? That's mean, I'm sorry, but you should go see it. Not that I'm sponsored by Sony or by Marvel, which, I mean, they could sponsor me, like I'm right here. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I left the theater feeling like a kid. I just was so amazed and I was marveling. Marveling. Okay, I should shut the fuck up. Um, yeah, I was just dazzled by how much I enjoyed the film and how beautiful the film was. I felt like I wanted to get to know more about this universe that this film is set in. Because, don't get me wrong, I have seen the previous MCU Spider Man films, Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home. I've seen those, and I did binge watch them before watching Brand New Day. But truth be told, and I hope I don't get crucified for this, I did not watch any of the previous Marvel Cinematic Universe films, like the Avengers or, well, I saw a little bit of Iron Man and Captain America, but I was really, really, really little when I watched those, so I don't remember jack shit. I just remember my dad and my sister pulling me in the theater, and I was covering my eyes the whole time because it was bang, bang, shabang, shabang. Um, so forgive me. Will you? Yeah. But after watching the film, like Spider-Man Brand New Day, I mean, I kid you not, I am currently on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I have been binge watching the fuck out of the MCU. And it's just really nice and refreshing to be part of this, to just feel interested in a specific kind of media again. It feels like my brain has been rejuvenated and I feel like I'm a whole new kid. It's like I discovered anime for the first time. I have so much to watch, so much to catch up on. And I just, not to sound like a huge nerd, and I know I'm a huge nerd, when I after watching Brand New Day, I was on Reddit, I was on Twitter, I was on Instagram and Tumblr and Wiki, like the Wikipedia pages for Marvel and X-Men and stuff. Like I was dead ass reading through the explanations. I was so interested in this overarching story and universe, especially because the film introduced characters that I was not previously that familiar with. The most I knew was the characters, like I played Marvel Rivals. Okay, so I know a bit about the characters, but I don't know their stories. And it was so fascinating to me to get into all of this again, to be studying this, to be researching this. And I love doing it. I love noticing little details in the film. I love pointing out interactions that could have been significant, that could be setting up for future scenes, for future films. And especially, I love theories. I love making predictions and just theorizing what could happen and what this action could mean for a future scenario. And that's just what I've been doing for the past few weeks after seeing the film. It was just really fun to be uh, not necessarily part of, but just seeing all these discussions online. And I can't wait for the next Avengers film. And I will, mark my words, I will be caught up on all of the MCU films before Avengers Doomsday. I hope I will, at least. I mean, I think I'm making good progress. I'm like watching one film at least a day. I hope that's enough. And I hope that with all that yapping and talking, that was enough time for all of you to get your sketchbooks or your tablets or notebooks or phones or whatever to just draw alongside me. Okay, I will be having fan art in the background of me talking and yapping about the film. So I hope I make good background noise for you to draw, and maybe you can also share whatever thoughts and insights and observations and theories you may have. I mean, I know you can't really talk to yourself. Well, you can. You'll just look like a crazy person because you'll be talking to yourself, which, I mean, you're just like me, for real, you know? That's what I'm doing right now. So if you want an outlet, you can always use the comment section, and I will most likely read them and reply to them because, I mean, it's not like I'm a popular YouTuber that gets a lot of comments anyway. Not to be like a Debbie Downer, but it's true. So I'll probably read them, and I'd be really happy to hear what you have to say. So yeah, I hope that you have seen Spider-Man Brand New Day because I really don't want you to get spoiled watching this. And I don't think I'll be talking too much about the intricacies and the spoilers, but still, I really recommend you watch the film. To start, I want to just really commend the acting in the film. I thought it was phenomenal. I know that Tom Holland as Spider-Man wasn't really that well received in the past. I remember people always saying that the previous Spider-Mans were better, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't even alive when Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man. And I remember watching Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man when I was little, so I have some attachment to him. I also love Andrew Garfield as an actor. I think he's so funny, and he seems like a really genuine and amazing guy. And also, it was in his films that that scene. You know what I'm talking about? That one scene. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, that happened. And I remember crying even as a kid, even though I wasn't really too aware. I wasn't really conscious when I was watching those movies. But that our dude, one of the saddest, I think, yeah, one of the saddest moments of all time in film history. Well, not really, but kind of also. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, but I feel like this film really brought out like the strengths of Tom Holland. And I'm not an expert in acting or anything. It's just back then, personally, okay, this is my, okay, disclaimer, this is my personal opinion, and I'm not an expert on cinema and filmography and acting and whatever, but watching the previous Spider-Man films, I remember I couldn't really feel like I knew him as Peter Parker. I couldn't really see him as Spider-Man. You know what I mean? I couldn't connect the two identities because I think he always either had his mask off when he was Spider-Man, or we mostly saw him as Peter Parker. The only time we saw him as Spider-Man is when he's in action, like when he's fighting the bad guys. But I don't know, there was this disconnect between him as Peter Parker and him as Spider-Man. But in this film, I feel like we really bridged that gap. Not we. Who's we, bro? I'm not part of the team. But they really bridged that gap between Peter Parker and Spider-Man, which is also the whole point of his identity crisis. And I think it was so well executed. And I think that's why it's such an inspirational film for people who may go through something similar. Maybe not being bitten by a radioactive spider, because, I mean, I don't think that's realistic. But just someone who feels lonely, someone who feels like they may be in a really dark place, who feels like they can't reach out to people, that, you know, it just, it's a really beautiful film for someone who may feel like isolated. And I felt that way, and I feel like these emotions really well done, especially with how sad like the whole story is. Like, imagine your whole not family. He doesn't really have family. Well, you know, he has Peter and MJ, but not Peter, sorry, Ned and MJ, but all of them forgot him. So you can see how he struggles, and it's such it's so well executed how they came to, like, how all of these little things built up into affecting his physical body, and then how he has to come to terms with that alongside all the other problems he was facing. And I like that it ties into how, because back then, I don't remember too much, but I do remember that he was always treated as a helpless kid from Queens. So now it's like he's the one helping and it's a really nice character arc for him. And I really appreciate how they showed his maturity and his growth in this way to help Jean Grey. And we'll get into Jean Grey later, but focusing on Peter and the actual story for now, I'm also very fond of how this film explores like the bigger like socio-political aspect of this universe, I guess. Because most of the other films, the previous ones at least, I'm only talking for Spider-Man because I have not seen all of the previous MCU films yet. I'm on the way, just give me a little bit. But the previous ones, it was mostly focused on Peter himself. And you know, when you are younger, to be fair, you are more focused on little problems that affect you, like confessing to your crush, or I don't know, asking someone out to homecoming, or little things like that. But this one, you see like a like, bigger bubble that you have to really. I don't know how to explain it, to be honest. Sorry, I don't have a script. I'm literally just winging it as I go. So pardon me if I'm not very well articulated, but you see how he trusted the government to manage this, to help him with this, or yeah, to help him with this. But you know, they're not actually what they seem. Like damage control, experimenting on these people that just are a little different. You know, they have some superpowers, like the mutants. You know, it also sets the story up for X-Men. I did read about that, and I think that's really interesting how they're going to now um, produce the X-Men movies in relation to how Peter Parker helped Jean Grey. Like, is there going to be conflict with that because he invented the universal inhibitor? Are the X-Men coming after his ass? We don't know. Maybe. But I do think that Jean Grey will protect him. I think she will vouch for him. I mean, she literally saved his life. She literally helped him breathe. Like, that's crazy. Anyway, got sidetracked again. Yeah, so I like that the movie explores so many different aspects of life, and it's not just like these aspects also indirectly contributed to how in the end Peter found his closure. He found his own conclusion to what he has to do. And I really like that scene. Apparently this is improvised, but I really like that scene when he was talking to Aunt May at her grave, and it was really beautiful. And then to Jean Grey, I will be completely honest, I did not know anything about her before watching. I did not even know that Wolverine was an X-Men. I knew of Wolverine, I knew of Deadpool, I knew of X-Men, but I didn't really connect the dots. I'm kind of dumb. But yeah, I did a lot of reading about her and about the X-Men. And I think it's really nice that they're using kind of a different approach to Jean Grey as a character. One, because it's more modern. It fits a lot more with our generation. Like look at Spider-Man, right? People can't really relate to people like Iron Man and Captain America because they're old. Okay, they're like really old characters, both in creation and in the actual canon age of the characters. But with Peter Parker, he tackles a lot more realistic issues, interpersonal and intrapersonal issues that younger people may relate to, and that's why the film is doing so good, and how it can serve as an inspiration to all these younger generations. And I think it's beautiful to have these stories come to life and to be shown on such a big screen for younger audiences to consume, because literally brain rot is everywhere, and I think we should be having films like these to not really educate, but just for people to consume and to see that they're not alone, that they can experience these, and that there is a life outside of the internet. I think that's a really important thing that people should grasp. So yeah, I like this younger approach to Jean Grey. I don't know how she will be after the film. I know people were worried that her personality might be like changed because of this, but I feel like they probably will stay more true to, or at least give some, is the term homage? Is that right? I don't know. But they'll probably respect the original character. Just the origin has changed a little bit to also fit Peter Parker in the story. I don't know. Just my personal, humble opinion. Also, I don't think I got to expound, but I also really like Zendaya and Sadie Sink's performance in this. Also, John Bernthal, of course. But to appreciate the women for a bit, okay? Like, it was. Okay, first, Zendaya. I remember that. Y'all remember the rooftop scene? Like, that was crazy. I noticed I noticed immediately that that was not MJ. I mean, I was kind of doubting at first. I was a bit confused, but I could tell that wasn't MJ. And I think Zendaya did a damn good job at capturing that she was someone pretending to be MJ. I think it's a really good use of facial expression and body language, and I think that was really impressive on her part. Not to mention the delivery of the I don't love you, I don't even know you. Like that is crazy, you know? And also Sadie Sink, I've always really liked her. I never watched Stranger Things or any of her previous stuff, but I see her around on social media and I think she's beautiful and I think she she did really good with this film. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not at all experienced in acting or anything, but I could feel the emotion, like when she was screaming, when she was taken hostage and everything. You could, I could see like her trauma. Does that make sense? I could see like there's so much feeling captured in her dialogue, even though like maybe she's not even talking too much at certain parts. I think that's really impressive. And not just the actors, but the director did a damn good job at the pacing. Like for some reason, I don't know if it's just me, but I thought the movie was like way longer than 2.5 hours. I thought it was 3 or 4 hours. Like I was sitting there like there's more. Like it just keeps going. Like I thought it was about to end, but it was just halfway through the film. Like I think he did a really good job with sequencing the events and just also the action. It was really nice. And I saw people talk about how they referenced a lot of the original Spider-Man comics. I think that's amazing. That's great. Like paying respect to the original source material. I think that's beautiful. And also, I saw a video that was comparing the action choreography to the game, like the game action. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, kudos to them. Like that's great. That's I don't even know what else to say. I'm running out of positive adjectives. But yeah, not to mention, I loved watching the swinging. It was so fun. It was a very immersive experience. Like watching Spider-Man swing throughout New York City. I think it wasn't even filmed in New York, but it was just so fun. I mean, not really that fun because there were some scenes where he literally almost killed himself, but it was just beautiful the way they executed the swinging. I feel like we didn't see much swinging. Am I tripping or was there not much swinging in the previous Spider-Man films, like in the MCU specifically? I think. I don't know, but it really stood out to me and I really appreciated how that was done. It just felt so fun. Like I want to do that too. I want to swing around and maybe not have webs woven in my blood, but that's cool. I also really appreciate the appearance of the Hulk and like Bruce Banner. I did a lot of reading on his backstory as well because I was not previously educated on it. And I think it's a really good reflection of what Peter could have become if he were to keep suppressing his Spidey abilities. I think it's really sad for Bruce Banner, but also it's just nice, I guess, because it was really bittersweet, like that scene with Hulk recognizing Peter Parker slash Spider Man as his friend. I feel like that's I don't know. I don't even have words to really describe, but I did shed a tear. I shed a lot of tears actually. I cried a lot during the movie. I'm sorry, I'm a crybaby, but it was just a beautiful film. And oh yeah, and the Punisher too. I really only knew him from Marvel Rivals, honestly, but seeing him in character now, and I know that his show does not really reflect like how happy the guy may seem in the film. I mean, not really that happy, but like he's way more depressed in his actual story and in his series. But it's just nice to see Peter Parker have such a positive effect on people's life because he's just a generally good guy. He's just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And his altruism is why he's so respected by so many other superheroes and by the people of New York and the world in general. And he's just a great character. And I feel like it's really amazing that younger kids have this figure to look up to. Even though he's fictional, but there's still someone there for them to idolize that aren't the typical internet influencer that may not be the most positive influence, you know? So yeah, I love the film. I love Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I'm so excited to watch the rest of the MCU. And I am really hyped for the upcoming movies, and also really excited for what X-Men would be in the future. So if you watched through all of this, then shout out to you, dude. Like, I was just talking and talking and talking. I really hope people also give this a shot. I think just get into any series, get into any film or media or whatever. I think you'll never know when it will change your life, when it will completely do a 360, not 360, 180 turn on your outlook on certain things. For me, it motivated me to consume more media and to draw. Honestly, like drawing Spider-Man, it is really good anatomy practice and pose and gesture. Like, it's great. There is no lose here. Maybe time, but time is currency for everything. And I think this is worth it. I think this is worth spending my time on. And I hope you guys can find something like that for you as well. And I hope it's Spider-Man too, so we can all nerd out about it. Because I know we're all losers here. So, yeah. That's all. I'm sorry. That was a really long video, I think. If I don't, maybe I will cut it down more. I'm not sure. But thanks for watching. And I hope that I will come back soon. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I think I will. I really want to. So, maybe give me some luck and support. Thanks, guys.